Hello, my strange and charmed ones. Welcome back to my channel for another video. If you follow me on Periscope, you may know that on Tuesday I did a Charmed Scope event where I discussed whether or not you should be blogging. The question of whether or not you should have a blog to support your personal or business brand is one that I get asked a lot because I am someone who blogs. I have been blogging since 2008 at this point, so it's been something like 7 years that I've been behind the keyboard of a blog. So I get this question a lot, and looking around the internet, I feel like there's been a lot of conflicting information on blogging and the reasons why someone would want to start a blog. So on Tuesday, I addressed all of those issues that I kind of see. And I gave my own opinions as to what I believed would be the process that someone should go through in order to determine whether or not they should start a blog. And I provided all of the information that I kind of feel like is missing from the conversation of whether or not to start a blog. So I had that event. It was very successful. People loved it. But because I don't put my Charmed Scopes on YouTube, a lot of people, an overwhelming amount of you, wanted me to make sure that I put this content onto YouTube. So today I want to kind of review that information that I had covered in the previous Charmed Scope event and just give you guys some additional resources and things that you can use and do to help you decide if you want to start a blog for yourself. So just like on Tuesday, I actually have my notepad out and I had taken 3 pages worth of notes on this subject. So I'm going to be referring to these notes to kind of keep me on track. But let's go ahead and get started and decide if you need to start a blog for yourself. Okay, so first and foremost, should you start a blog? That question, as far as I'm concerned, is a choice that you need to make for yourself and your business. I do not think that you should look to someone else's example necessarily, like mine or another blogger or business owner who may or may not blog, and use their specific situation to apply to your own life. I do not think that is the way you want to address whether or not you should blog. I do think that this is a personal decision that you need to make for your specific situation, because to be completely honest, blogging is a lot of work. There's a lot of complications to go into it, and it's not for everyone. That's the absolute truth. So taking my lead specifically, or taking the lead of another online business person or an online blogger, is probably not the best way to approach this topic. That's why I've broken down the topic of whether or not you should blog into things that I think you need to think about before you decide whether or not you want to start a blog. Okay, so the first thing I think you need to understand about blogging before you get into the question of whether or not you should blog is a common misconception that I often hear people make when they're talking about blogging. And that is that blogging is a communication method, not a business model. This is a really important point, so I'm going to reiterate it. The most common misconception I find about blogging is that people don't realize that blogging is a communication method, not a business model. Blogging is a chance for you to communicate and establish a connection with your audience, with your ideal customer, with your ideal readers, and build a connection one-to-one with a readership. It is not a platform that I believe should be entered into for the sole purpose of making money. Because the truth of the matter is that making money blogging is very, very difficult. So that's the first thing I want you to know. I want you to know that if you're going into starting a blog to make money, just want to warn you now, you're not going to make any money. If you do, it's going to take a long time and a lot of effort to make money from blogging. So you want to enter into the scenario of starting a blog knowing that it's a way that you are going to communicate your personal brand and your personal business to the rest of the world. Now, yes, you can make money blogging, and yes, there are people who do make a full-time income from it. However, those instances of people starting blogs and making a full-time income from blogging are few and far between. And to be completely honest, the way that blogging is set up and kind of the hierarchy and just like the norms that happen within blogging, it takes a really long time to establish yourself as a blogger that is going to be someone that earns earns money from blogging in and of itself. Now, there are a few ways that you can make money from a blog. So let's talk about those. First is ad revenue, either by using a platform like Google AdSense, where you would be able to sign up for a Google AdSense account and let Google put ads onto your blog. And then they pay you based on a rate of CPM, which is a cost per 1,000. And that's the number of times basically that people click the ads or view your ads. You would be paid a very, very small amount of commission or ad revenue from having those ads on your site. So ads are a way that you can make money, but you make very little money. Even if you go it yourself and solicit for advertising from other brands and businesses and kind of put ads up yourself and create your own little method for people to advertise on your site, even if you use that method, it's still a very small percentage of money that you're going to be able to make from ads. To be completely honest with you, when it comes to using ads as a source of revenue on a blog, you're really lucky if your ad revenue can cover your hosting and your blog URL if you're someone that has a self-hosted site. So that's kind of the expectation, a realistic expectation of how much money you can expect to earn from advertising. Now, I personally don't use advertising myself because I find ads to be ugly on my blog. I don't like it when I see ads on other people's blogs, like excessive ads. So I don't use ads myself. They're just not worth the fact that my blog has to be all muddied up with advertising for someone else's business in order for me to make, like I said, a very small amount of money. The second method that you can use to make money from a blog is affiliate income. Now, affiliate income is basically income that you get from using affiliate links to promote different products. For instance, I'm a member of 2 different affiliate networks. I'm part of the Amazon affiliates, and I'm also part of Reward Style. Both of those programs give me access to be able to link, to create a monetized link. So whenever I refer products in my blog or on my YouTube descriptions, I may have access to an affiliate link for that product. And if someone clicks on that link and makes a purchase, I end up getting a very small commission of the total price of the item. So again, affiliate income is not something that's going to make you a millionaire overnight. I do bring home a couple $100s a month from my 2 affiliate networks. So for me, it's worth it. It's not, it's not chump change. It's not the small ad revenue. It is a little bit more of a substantial income when you learn how to use it right and use it effectively in your blog and in your business. But that is the second way that you can monetize a blog in and of itself. Now, the thing I do like about using affiliate links, and one of the reasons that I do personally belong to 2 of the affiliate networks, is because I like the idea of just seamlessly integrating a little bit of monetization in my blog posts. So when I'm naturally sharing about books or products or things that I'm using and loving, when I'm naturally sharing those things on my blog or on my YouTube channel, it's easy enough for me to just go ahead and grab an affiliate link and put it in, and it's a nice source of passive income. All I have to do is put that link in once, and then day after day, month after month, year after year, as people visit that specific blog post, any income that's generated through those links is passive for me. So I do think that affiliate links are a good use of time so long as you're using them strategically. The third method you can use for monetizing your blog is to work with sponsors and get sponsorship opportunities. In this sort of situation, a brand would come to you, or you would solicit from a brand a project to do a sponsored blog post. So maybe they'll send you some of their products, you'll put together content, and perhaps you'll be paid for the interaction. Now, sponsored blog posts are definitely where the money's at, and there are some bloggers that make tons of money using sponsored posts. However, unfortunately, like I said earlier, the way that the network kind of works with bloggers online, it does tend to skew in favor of more popular bloggers who have more page views end up getting the big sponsorship opportunities. Now that just makes sense, right? Why would a big company pay a little blogger to do a sponsored post when they could work with a more substantial blogger with a bigger presence? But because of that, we often find that when it comes to sponsored opportunities for blog posts, most of what's out there, most times a business will approach you and just want to give you free things. So for some people, that's cool. Getting free stuff is totally worth the time and effort that you'll put into your blog. But if you are someone who's running a business and trying to make a substantial income for yourself online, these sorts of free product in exchange for a review or in exchange for content really is a lopsided opportunity. So that's just something to keep in mind. Although there is money in sponsored content, it is really hard to get yourself to the point where you're going to be making actual money as opposed to just getting free things. But that's something you want to keep in mind. Okay, so now that we've covered the fact that you really can't make money very easily with a blog, what is the point of blogging then for some people? I believe that having a blog is important because it is a permanent branded home for you and your brand or business on the internet. Think about the fact that all of the social media platforms that you use, and that I use specifically, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all these platforms are not controlled by you. They're actually controlled by the businesses that run them. So you have very little control over the experience that a user gets when they visit you on that platform. Now, social media platforms are great, don't get me wrong, but one of the big threats that you always have with social media platforms as opposed to having your own self-hosted blog is that there is that kind of looming threat that you could either be kicked off of the platform for doing something wrong, whether intentionally or unintentionally, or you also have the very legitimate threat that that social media platform may not remain as popular as it is currently. For example, right now, YouTube and Instagram are super popular platforms, but who knows if next month there's going to be another hot video media platform that hits the market and everyone moves from YouTube to this new platform. It's a legitimate risk. So all of the effort and time that you put into your social media accounts, they could be wiped out, like literally overnight, which is really, really unfortunate, but it's not that way with your blog. When you run a self-hosted blog, you have complete control over your content, over the experience that people have when they come to your blog, and you call all of the shots. There's no threats of being closed down or one day you wake up and your account's not there anymore. Your blog is always going to be there. It's yours 100%. You own it. Now, another reason why you would want to use a blog is for SEO, which stands for search engine optimization. This is basically the process by which you can use a blog in order to get yourself discovered from people using search online. So every day, millions of people go to Google and other search engines and type in questions. They're looking for something specific. They're looking for a solution to a problem. And if your blog has good SEO, so you follow good search engine optimization practices, you are actually able to affect the way that your blog pops up in those search results. Obviously, the goal with SEO is to be on the first page whenever someone searches a specific topic. So SEO is a really important traffic driver for most blogs. Now, a final reason that you'd want to have a blog for your business is because when people come to your blog and they see that you're posting on a regular basis, they know that they can trust that your business is real. Now, what I mean by that is that there is a lot of different websites on the internet that kind of lead to nowhere. They're what I like to call vaporware. It's a website that was maybe set up by someone and then the person maybe stopped blogging, stopped, paying attention to the site. They walked off and the site now kind of leads to nowhere. And there's a lot of instances of this online. So actually having a legitimate blog where you are regularly updating and posting new information gives your readers and your audience and your potential clients or customers a reason to have a little bit of trust in you because they come to your site, they see that it's active and someone's there, someone cares. They're going to feel a little bit more secure in purchasing your products. Now, if you are someone that's using a blog to promote your products or services, another great thing about having a blog that kind of relates to this is that writing blog posts kind of helps to establish you or brand you as an expert, specifically if you're someone that has info products or services that they want to sell online. For example, let's say you're a freelance graphic designer. Having a blog where you kind of talk about graphic design regularly and maybe showcase different client work that you've done is a great way to actually attract new clients, because they can see, hey, wait a minute, this person knows what they're talking about. They have lots of blog posts on the topic of graphic design, and they're showing me their work that they've done with other clients, and I really like it. So if that audience member has a need for graphic design services that have kind of brought them to your site, they're going to feel a sense of connection and a sense of trust, knowing that if they request your services, they kind of know what to expect, right? So that's another way that blogging can really help establish you online if you're someone who has a service-based business or an info product-based business. Now, when it comes to being a blogger, I actually don't consider myself a blogger anymore. I actually consider myself a business owner who blogs, because my blog supports my business. Like that final example I gave, I write about productivity and business and social media, and that relates directly to the digital and info products that I create and sell in my shop. So having a blog for me is really a way, again, a communication method that I use to show people that I know what I'm talking about, that they can trust my information, and that I'm someone who's there and isn't just going to leave them high and dry. So that's the way that I look at blogging for myself. I'm not a blogger, I'm a business owner who blogs. Now, let's go back to that question we asked earlier on, should you blog? I do have a short kind of question and answer for you to think about whether or not blogging is right for you. So question number one, blogging is right for you if you like to write. Specifically, you like to write in the format of blog posts. Blogging is a very specific way of writing that is a little bit different than maybe your traditional fiction or nonfiction writing. So if you do enjoy writing blog posts, then perhaps a blog is a good idea for you. Question number two, does your ideal customer or audience like to read blogs? Now, this is a really important question for a business owner because if you are starting a business and you are targeting a specific demographic, it's really important that that demographic is someone who likes to read articles and read blog posts on the internet. For example, let's say you're targeting a older audience, maybe a more mature audience, maybe 50s plus. Now, statistically speaking, 50 plus is not necessarily the right demographic age range for a blog, especially when you compare that specific demographic to a younger crowd, like teenagers, people in their 20s and 30s who have grown up on the internet and who actually read blogs regularly. So that's something to think about. If your audience is not one of the demographics that would actually enjoy reading a blog, having a blog might not actually be the best use of your time. Question number three, do you have an online business or have a in-person business that you want to sort of bring online to be searchable on the web? If so, then having a blog would be a good fit for you. Obviously, no brainer when it comes to online businesses. Many online businesses have a website, have a blog that goes along with it. And even some in-person businesses, like real life brick and mortar businesses, also have blogs online. But if you're not trying to grow a following online and attract new customers to your in-person business from the web, then it's probably a waste of time for you to have a blog as well. And the final question, do you have a service-based business or an info product-based business? If you do, like I said, blogging is a great way to establish yourself as an expert online in whatever your service or information product is about. So if you are someone that does provide services to people, like that graphic design example I gave earlier, or if you're someone like me who has an info or digital product-based business, that really it's important for me to establish myself as someone who knows what they're talking about, then having a blog may be a good option for you. Okay, so let's say you answered those questions and it was a majority no, right? So you're thinking to yourself, doesn't seem like I should have a blog then. What should you have instead of a blog then? Because it's still important for you to have a presence online. So how are you going to present yourself online if you do have an online brand or business? The first suggestion I would have for you, if you do not want to have a blog, is to fish where the fishes are, as they say. Go ahead and find a platform that you enjoy that's also a platform where your ideal target customer is. Remember earlier when I said that the over 50 crowd may not be the best target demographic for a blog? Well, you know what is a good platform for that demographic? Facebook. There's plenty of 50+ individuals using and interacting on Facebook. So it's really important to fish where the fishes are at. You have to know what your demographic is doing and where they are online so that you can track them down. So if you don't have a blog, if a blog doesn't work for you, you definitely need to make sure you're finding your ideal customer and audience on a different platform. The next thing you need if you do not have a blog is a website. Don't think that you can ever get away without having a website if you run a business online or if you have a brick and mortar business you want to promote on the internet. The first thing that anyone does when they come across a new business or a new brand or a new person is Google them, right? We always Google businesses and brands that we love. And we're looking for their websites, specifically if we hear about them from friends or family, or if we see them on social media. The first thing we want to do if we want to know more about that business is we want to find their website and check them out more. So it's really important, even if you don't want to have a blog, that you set up a website for yourself. And I always recommend that you use a self-hosted WordPress site. I know there's other platforms out there to use, but self-hosted WordPress is the way to get the ultimate amount of control over your website and to be able to create the ideal user experience for anyone who's visiting your website. So I do recommend self-hosted WordPress. Now on that blog, you're going to still want to have a little bit of content. Why? Because you want to kind of make the most of SEO still, even if you don't have a blog. So you want to make sure that people searching for products or services that are similar to the ones that you offer are able to find you in search results. So you don't need to be a blogger, but I would say that on your website, you need to create a few pieces of really great, meaty content, almost like really epic blog posts, and put them up on different pages of your website. Some people call these lead pages or info pages, just a place where you can kind of give information about your products and services, or maybe give some additional information so that people searching for your products or services will be able to find you in search. Now, the final thing you need to have if you don't want to have a blog is an email opt-in. Even if you do not intend to actually use email right now as your business stands, I definitely think it's important to start growing your email list as soon as possible. Now, for me, I just started using email like literally in the last couple of weeks and months. Although I have been building my email list up for a few years now because I've always had that email opt-in on my website. So I would definitely say make sure you have a place where people can enter in their email address and information so that you can kind of keep track of people who are your regular readers. Because if someone's opting in to your email opt-in, they definitely like you and they want to hear from you. So collecting those emails is always wonderful. And of course, there's a whole bunch of different strategies for growing your email list that involves, free product opt-ins and all that jazz and sales funnels and everything else that you hear about that goes into email marketing. But for now, just have a place on your site where people can sign up for your email list. Just make sure it's somewhere prominent on your site where if people like you and they want to hear from you, they can opt in to that email list. Even if you don't plan on using it immediately, it's always great to be building that list. And there's plenty of different options out there for email list building sites. Now, I personally use and love MailChimp. I think it's a great platform for growing email lists, specifically because they allow you to have a free account with MailChimp and grow your list up to 2,000 subscribers before they require you to pay. So if you're someone who's just getting started with your blog or your website or this whole online marketing world, definitely think about signing up for MailChimp and just start integrating that list building into your online platform, specifically your website or your blog. Okay, you guys, so I hope that this video has been helpful for you to understand whether or not you should be starting a blog. Again, like I said, blogging is something that is very difficult. It does take time and work to master, and it's not something that's for everyone. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution for online communication. And remember, blogging is an online communication method, not a business model, okay? So always keep that in mind. You never enter into blogging hoping that you're gonna strike it rich, because it's really, really rare that that ever happens. Now, if you have any more questions about this topic of blogging, I've actually put together some resources for you guys as well. The first resource that I have for you is a blogging Q&A strategy worksheet. I actually put together a 2-page worksheet that you can download and fill out for yourself, and it kind of goes a little bit more in depth into the question of whether or not you should blog, and it also kind of helps with the next steps once you've decided that you want to start a blog. So it's a bunch of questions that you want to ask yourself that pertain to your business and pertain to your blog and what your vision is for your blog. So definitely check out this blogging Q&A strategy worksheet. I'm going to have a link down below to where you can actually download this as part of my Charmed Biz digital resource library. This is another thing that I've just put together for you all as well. If you are someone who is a blogger or a business owner or an entrepreneur, and you are looking for more resources to get started with your business and help your business grow into an amazing online entity, my Charmed Biz digital resource library is for you. It's 100% free. All you have to do is sign up down below. I have a link for you to sign up. And good news, if you're someone who's ever signed up for one of my freebies before, specifically my business freebies, like my brand equity study guide or my photography strategies worksheet or my Charm DSLR mini course, I've actually already sent you an email giving you access to the digital resource library, because now all of those free items, free downloads, and strategy worksheets are part of this resource library. So it's just one more thing to help you guys with your ongoing education and personal development if you're someone who is looking to start a business or a blog online. And one last thing, you guys, I know this video is going to be so long, but I've also put together an online community for bloggers and business owners called the Charmed Biz Collective. It is a Facebook group that is 100% free, and it kind of goes along with the Charmed Biz digital resource guide. I've been asked so much about how people find other online business people to work with, to collaborate with. Everyone is looking to be part of a community. And if you are a business owner, you need the support of a community more than you could have ever imagined. So I've put together a private Facebook group that, again, is completely free. And again, if you sign up down below, I will have a link that will get emailed out to you to join this private Facebook group and basically just continue to get more and more free information and resources from me, as well as all of the other members of this community. So I'm super excited to announce this. Feel free to sign up for the worksheet as well as for the Charmed Biz Collective Facebook group. I can't wait to see you guys, and I really am excited about growing a supportive community online for female entrepreneurs, online business people, and anyone who's really just trying to make a name for themselves on social media and online. I can't wait to see you there. So if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and of course, if you have questions, please leave those down below in the comments. And of course, if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button for more awesome videos by me. And until next time, bye-bye.